Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I still feel so young inside, but why does my hair make me look more tired than I really am? If you felt that way, you're not alone. This is one of the most common frustrations women face after 60. Our hair naturally changes with time. It becomes thinner, it loses volume, and silver strands start to appear. These changes are not your fault, they are simply a part of life. But here's the truth. The hairstyle that once worked for you may no longer highlight your beauty today, and that's okay. Because with the right cut, your hair can actually lift your face, brighten your features, and help you look up to 10 years younger without trying to be someone you're not. In this video, I'm going to share 5 timeless haircuts designed specifically for women over 60. They are elegant, modern, and easy to care for, styles that will make you feel confident, refreshed, and fully yourself. And because I want you to get the best results, I'll also reveal 6 common mistakes many women make with their hair that can quietly add years instead of taking them off. So if you've been longing to see a more vibrant, confident version of yourself in the mirror, stay with me until the end. You'll not only discover which haircut best suits your personality, but also how to avoid the traps that age you unnecessarily. This might just be the fresh start you've been waiting for. Why hair matters after 60. Hair is more than just a style choice. It's one of the first things people notice about us. After the age of 60, the biological changes in hair become undeniable. Dermatologists at the American Academy of Dermatology report that nearly 65% of women over 60 experience noticeable hair thinning. The strands lose density, the pigment cells slow down, and the natural oils that once kept hair shiny are reduced. That is why hair often feels drier, weaker, and flatter than it did in our younger years. These changes don't just affect how the hair itself looks, they also influence how our face is perceived. The wrong haircut can visually drag the face downward, exaggerating jowls or fine lines around the mouth. Think of it like wearing a dress that no longer fits. No matter how elegant the fabric, if the cut is wrong, it highlights what we'd rather soften. Let me share something from my own journey. I spent most of my adult life with the same hairstyle, long, straight hair that I began wearing in my 30s. Back then, it made me feel feminine and free. But by the time I reached 60, that same style felt heavy. It pulled down my cheeks and made my shoulders look slouched. Friends would ask if I was tired even when I felt energetic. That was the moment I realized. Holding onto a hairstyle for decades might preserve memories, but it doesn't always serve the woman we are today. I'd like you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you truly updated your haircut? Not just a trim, but a thoughtful change. Does your current style make you feel vibrant when you look in the mirror, or does it remind you of a version of yourself from 20 or 30 years ago? Studies on perception and aging are fascinating here. A report from Yale University found that people often underestimate a woman's age by 5 to 10 years if her hairstyle creates volume and frames the face properly. That means the right haircut isn't simply cosmetic. It can reshape how the world responds to you. More importantly, it reshapes how you feel about yourself. Another critical factor is color. As melanin production decreases, gray and silver strands emerge. For some, this transition is liberating. For others, it feels like a loss of identity. But whether you embrace your natural silver or choose to blend it with highlights, the haircut is what makes the color shine. Without the right structure, even the most beautiful shade can appear dull. So, why does hair matter after 60? Because it's not just about appearance, it's about confidence. It's about matching the energy you feel inside with the reflection you see in the mirror. It's about stepping into this chapter of life with intention, rather than letting an outdated style speak louder than your spirit. Now that we understand why hair plays such a vital role in how we age, let's move to the exciting part. The 5 haircuts that have consistently helped women over 60 look and feel up to 10 years younger. These styles are not about chasing youth, but about highlighting the best version of who you are right now. 1. The soft layered bob. The soft layered bob has remained one of the most powerful cuts for women over 60 because it creates volume, lightness, and movement where age has taken some away. According to the National Institutes of Health, by the time women reach their 60s, hair density can decrease by as much as 20–25%. That's why many of us notice flatness around the crown, limpness near the temples, and a general loss of body. The layered bob addresses all of this with carefully placed layers that add fullness without looking forced. Have you ever noticed how the wrong haircut can make your cheeks look heavier or your jawline less defined? The soft layered bob acts almost like a natural facelift. The layers are designed to draw the eye upward, bringing attention back to your eyes and cheekbones. A study published in Psychology of Aesthetics found that framing the face with upward movement in hair can make observers perceive a woman as more energetic and youthful, even if nothing else has changed. From my own experience, I spent years holding onto longer hair because I thought it was the safest way to feel feminine. But after I turned 62, I decided to try a softly layered bob that grazed just below my chin. The difference was remarkable. My friends kept asking if I had lost weight or started a new skincare routine. They couldn't pinpoint the change, but they kept telling me I looked refreshed and so much lighter. That's the magic of this cut. It whispers youth without shouting it. Now, let me ask you, when you look in the mirror, does your hair fall flat against your face or does it move with you? Do you feel like your hairstyle highlights your best features, or does it hide them? If you find yourself spending extra time with rollers, sprays, or styling tools just to create lift, the soft layered bob might be the low-maintenance answer you've been searching for. Another benefit is how beautifully this cut works with silver or salt and pepper hair. When strands lose pigment, they can look dull without the right structure. Layers, however, catch and reflect light, making natural grays appear multidimensional. If you color your hair, the bob is equally forgiving. It enhances highlights, lowlights, or balayage, creating dimension that feels fresh and modern. The practicality of this style is also a gift. Many women think layered styles demand constant upkeep, but in reality, a good layered bob is one of the easiest cuts to manage. You can blow it out with a round brush for bounce, or simply let it air dry with a touch of volumizing mousse. The layers fall into place, giving you a polished look without the fuss. I often compare this haircut to a well-tailored jacket. It doesn't overwhelm your figure, it shapes and enhances it. The same applies to the layered bob. It doesn't try to transform you into someone else, it simply highlights the woman you already are. If you've worn the same heavy style for decades, I encourage you to imagine how a soft layered bob could change the way you feel. What would it be like to look in the mirror and see a lighter, more vibrant version of yourself staring back? What would it feel like if people couldn't quite tell what changed, but they knew you looked more alive? The layered bob is a timeless option, but it is only the beginning. For women who are ready to go even shorter, to shed years of weight both physically and emotionally, there's another style that offers freedom, edge, and confidence: the textured pixie cut. 2. The textured pixie cut. The textured pixie is one of the most liberating hairstyles a woman over 60 can choose. Short, light, and full of movement, it has a way of bringing your natural features to the forefront. The cut accentuates cheekbones, brightens the eyes, and lengthens the neck, features that, according to a study published in Age and Perception Journal, are directly associated with how youthful a face appears. Many of us hold onto long hair because we believe it is the safer, more feminine option. I did the same for years. But the truth is, long hair that has lost volume often drags the face downward, while a pixie cut lifts everything back up. I remember when I finally tried a textured pixie at age 64. I was nervous, convinced it would feel too drastic, but the transformation was immediate. For the first time in years, I looked in the mirror and thought, this is me again. My friends said I seemed lighter, more energetic, even more approachable. Let me ask you, do you ever feel like your hair hides you rather than highlights you? Do you catch yourself adjusting it constantly, trying to create fullness that just won't last? The pixie cut solves this problem with carefully placed layers. Skilled stylists use feathering and point-cutting techniques to add dimension right at the crown, exactly where mature hair tends to thin most. According to the American Hair Loss Association, nearly 50% of women over 60 experience noticeable thinning at the top of the scalp. A well-structured pixie disguises this with volume and texture, making hair appear fuller without artificial styling tricks. Another reason this cut is so powerful is how beautifully it showcases silver and salt and pepper hair. Instead of trying to cover it, the pixie turns gray into an accessory, something that sparkles in the light like fine jewelry. I often tell clients that a silver pixie is like wearing a statement necklace you never take off. It catches attention in the best possible way. And despite what many believe, the pixie is not high maintenance. Yes, you'll need trims every 5 to 6 weeks to keep its shape, but daily styling is refreshingly simple. A dab of texturizing paste, a light tousle with your fingers, and you're done. For women who have spent decades tied to curling irons and rollers, that freedom feels revolutionary. There is also an emotional shift that comes with this haircut. I've heard countless women say, "I feel like myself again after cutting their hair short." It's not just about the style, it's about no longer hiding behind hair that no longer serves you. Psychologists have even noted that making a visible change, like cutting hair significantly shorter, can boost self-esteem and reinforce a sense of control during life transitions. I want you to picture this, walking into a room with your face open, eyes bright, shoulders lifted, not hidden by heavy hair but framed by a cut that tells the world you are confident, vibrant, and fully alive. How would that change the way you carry yourself? How would it change the way people respond to you? The textured pixie is not about looking 30 again. It's about being the best version of yourself right now. For many women, it becomes a symbol of independence, confidence, and joy. But maybe you're not ready to go quite that short. Maybe you still love the idea of having some length around your shoulders, something you can tuck behind your ear or style in waves. If that sounds more like you, the next hairstyle, shoulder-length hair with face-framing layers, may be the perfect balance between softness and structure. 3. Shoulder length with face-framing layers. For women over 60, the shoulder-length cut with face-framing layers is often underestimated, yet it strikes the perfect balance between femininity and freshness. While hair that hangs too long can appear heavy and pull facial features downward, cutting it to the shoulders with soft layers gives a graceful lift. It creates movement, highlights your best features, and maintains the softness many of us still love about longer hair. The science of why this works is fascinating. As we age, our facial structure naturally shifts. Cheeks lose volume, jawlines soften, and skin elasticity decreases. According to research from the Mayo Clinic, collagen levels decline by about 1% every year after age 40. That change means our hairstyles must adapt if we want to maintain balance and vibrancy. Layers around the face draw the eye upward, almost like a gentle sculpting effect. They bring light to the cheekbones, soften lines around the mouth, and restore a sense of vitality. I remember the turning point for me. At 61, I still had hair well past my shoulders because I thought it made me look feminine. Instead, it made my face appear drawn and tired. My stylist suggested cutting it back to shoulder length and adding layers that framed my cheekbones. The result shocked me. People didn't say, "You cut your hair." Instead, they said, "You look so rested," or "Did you change your makeup?" That's the power of the right cut. It refreshes without calling attention to itself. Let me ask you, when was the last time you tried something different with your part? Have you experimented with curtain bangs that sweep toward your cheekbones, or do you always wear the same center part you've had for decades? Even small changes, like shifting your part slightly or adding soft bangs, can make your eyes brighter and your face look more open. Versatility is another reason this cut stands out. You can blow it out for polished bounce, add loose waves for an effortless, modern look, or wear it naturally with just a bit of mousse. On days when you want structure, a deep side part creates instant drama. When you're in the mood for softness, curtain bangs blended into the layers add a playful, youthful edge. According to a 2022 survey by Allure, 73% of women over 55 said they wanted a haircut that looked professional during the day but could also feel relaxed and casual on weekends. The shoulder-length layered style answers that need beautifully. For women with silver or salt and pepper hair, this cut is particularly flattering. The layers catch the light, creating dimension that makes natural grays look vibrant rather than dull. And if you color your hair, face-framing layers are perfect for showing off subtle highlights or balayage without requiring constant upkeep. I also want you to reflect. Does your current style give your face energy, or does it weigh you down? Do you feel your hair enhances your personality, or does it feel like something you've been carrying for too many years? If you're looking for a change that still feels feminine but less demanding, this cut might be the answer. The shoulder-length layered style is about balance. It allows us to embrace softness without losing shape, versatility without complication. It's a reminder that elegance after 60 doesn't mean sacrificing comfort, it means elevating what already makes us feel beautiful. And while this style offers grace and movement, some women crave something bolder, a look that speaks of strength, polish, and timeless sophistication. For those women, the next haircut, the modern blunt bob, might be the perfect choice. 4. The modern blunt bob. The modern blunt bob is often compared to a perfectly tailored blazer. It has structure, strength, and undeniable polish. For women over 60, this style provides what many of us need most: definition. As we age, our facial contours soften, cheekbones lose sharpness, jawlines blur, and the skin around the neck becomes less firm. According to a 2021 report from the American Society for Dermatologic Surgery, nearly 70% of women over 55 notice facial laxity as their primary aging concern. A well-cut blunt bob counteracts that by framing the face with clean lines, restoring a sense of clarity and balance. But this isn't the severe, boxy bob of the past. Today's version is far more adaptable and flattering. A slight undercurve allows the ends to hug the neckline gracefully. A deep side part introduces movement and asymmetry, instantly lifting the face. Even a modern blunt fringe can bring drama while drawing attention to the eyes. These subtle tweaks transform what was once rigid into something fluid and wearable. When I first tried a blunt bob at 63, I was worried it would feel too harsh. My stylist suggested softening the edges with a gentle curve under the chin and adding a side part. The effect was astonishing. My jawline looked sharper, my shoulders appeared straighter, and suddenly I carried myself differently, like I was wearing an outfit tailored just for me. Friends commented, "You look so sophisticated," and one even said, "That haircut looks like confidence." Now I want to ask you, does your current hairstyle give you definition, or does it blur your features? Do you feel like your hair complements the strength of your personality, or is it simply hanging there doing nothing for you? The blunt bob is powerful precisely because it doesn't hide. It says, "This is who I am," without apology. Maintenance is another advantage. Many assume a blunt cut requires constant styling, but when cut well, it behaves beautifully. If your hair is naturally straight or slightly wavy, you can let it air dry and still look polished. A flat brush and a quick blow dry are often all it takes. Compared with heavily layered cuts, the blunt bob often demands less daily effort while still offering high impact. And when paired with silver or salt and pepper strands, the effect is striking. In fact, L'Oreal conducted a consumer study in 2022 showing that 58% of women felt more confident embracing gray when their haircut added structure. A sleek blunt bob with natural silver creates the impression of intentional elegance rather than passive aging. This style is not about chasing youth, but about embodying presence. It works especially well for women who want to project authority without losing femininity. Just as a tailored blazer can elevate an entire outfit, the blunt bob elevates your appearance with a single decisive line. Think about this. How would it feel to walk into a room knowing your hair was sending the message of sophistication and clarity before you even spoke? Would you carry yourself differently, stand taller, feel more assured? For many women, the answer is yes, and that is the quiet power of the modern blunt bob. Still, not every woman wants sharp lines or sleek polish. Some prefer softness, movement, and a little playfulness in their look. For those women, the next haircut, the soft shag with curtain bangs, offers exactly that. Texture, lightness, and personality that says, "I still have spark." 5. The soft shag with curtain bangs. The soft shag with curtain bangs is one of the most playful, expressive hairstyles a woman over 60 can embrace. Unlike the heavy shags of the 1970s, today's version is lighter, softer, and infinitely more flattering. The secret lies in the layers, strategically cut to add volume at the crown, create movement through the mid-lengths, and remove bulk from the ends. This prevents the dreaded triangle shape, where hair falls flat on top and wide at the bottom, a common frustration for women with aging hair. For many of us, thinning is most noticeable around the crown and temples. The American Academy of Dermatology notes that nearly 50% of women over 60 report hair thinning in these exact areas. The shag corrects this by lifting the crown and adding softness where density has diminished. Instead of emphasizing loss, it creates the illusion of fullness and vitality. Curtain bangs are the feature that gives this cut its charm. Parted gently in the middle and sweeping toward the cheekbones, they frame the eyes and disguise forehead lines. When I tried curtain bangs at 62, I was surprised by how much younger and softer my face looked. Friends said my eyes seemed brighter and more open. What amazed me most was how natural they felt, as though they had always belonged there. Let me ask you, do you ever feel your forehead lines draw unwanted attention? Wouldn't it be refreshing to soften them without makeup or treatments? Do you sometimes wish your hair could frame your eyes in a way that makes you feel radiant again? Curtain bangs can achieve all of this while blending seamlessly into the rest of the shag. Another reason the soft shag works so beautifully is its adaptability. You can air dry it for an easy, tousled look or run a flat iron through the layers for something more polished. A touch of mousse or texturizing spray is usually enough to bring it to life. And unlike blunt bangs, curtain bangs grow out gracefully, so you're not locked into constant salon visits. I've met many women who hesitated before trying this style, thinking it might feel too youthful or rebellious. But in reality, the modern shag sends a very different message. I still have spark. It's not about pretending to be younger than you are. It's about expressing vibrancy, humor, and individuality. A 2020 survey by Harper's Bazaar found that women who updated their hairstyle with softer layers and bangs were rated by observers as not only younger, but also more approachable and confident. From my perspective, this cut is ideal for women who still love to dance, laugh, and experiment. At 60, 70, or beyond, it says you are not fading into the background. You are stepping forward with energy. Think of it as a hairstyle that mirrors your personality. Light, dynamic, and full of life. Now, it's important to remember that even the most flattering cuts can lose their effect if we fall into certain traps. Holding onto the same style for decades, avoiding layers altogether, or adding too much texture. These are mistakes that can quietly add years instead of taking them off. Let's take a closer look at the most common haircut mistakes women over 60 should avoid, and how to recognize if you might be making them. Common mistakes to avoid. One of the most common mistakes I see among women over 60 is holding onto the same haircut for decades. I understand why. It feels safe, it holds memories, and it once made us feel beautiful. But hair, like everything else, changes with time. What flattered your face at 35 may no longer serve you at 65. The American Hair Research Society reports that by the age of 70, most women will have lost at least 30% of their hair density. That shift alone means our styles must evolve if we want to look vibrant. Ask yourself, is your haircut reflecting the woman you are today, or is it locking you into the past? Another mistake is keeping hair long, heavy, and without layers. While length can feel feminine, weight without movement drags the face downward. I made this mistake myself, wearing long hair into my 60s because I thought it kept me youthful. In reality, it emphasized sagging at my jawline and made my cheeks look tired. Once I added layers, the difference was like lifting a curtain. The light returned to my face. Then there is the one-length cut with no texture. For some women, this can look sleek. But for many of us with fine or thinning hair, it creates a flat, lifeless effect. Research published in Dermatologic Therapy showed that fine hair loses diameter with age, often appearing thinner even if the total number of strands has not changed significantly. Without movement, that thinness becomes more noticeable. I often ask clients, does your haircut give your hair energy, or does it leave it looking pressed down and dull? Ignoring the crown and hairline is another oversight. These are the very areas where thinning first appears. A thoughtful stylist will cut to disguise sparseness, soft layers at the crown, light bangs at the temples, or curtain bangs to frame the face. When we neglect these details, thinning becomes more visible. Think about it. Do you notice your hair part looking whiter than before? That's usually the first sign you need a cut that adds camouflage and lift. Some women swing in the opposite direction, creating too much volume or over-texturizing. Teased crowns, stiff blowouts, or choppy layers can look dated and harsh. A study by Modern Salon found that 62% of women over 55 felt that overly styled hair made them look as if they were trying too hard. True youthfulness comes from softness and movement, not rigidity. Finally, color and cut must work together. A beautifully cut bob in the wrong shade can wash you out, while a trendy shag in a flat, box-dye black can make skin look dull. Warm highlights, lowlights, or simply embracing your natural silver can transform a haircut. The key is harmony between shape and shade. I often ask women, does your color make your skin glow, or does it fight against it? The bigger truth is this: updating your haircut is not about chasing youth. It's about honoring the woman you are today. It's about finding a style that lifts your face, restores energy, and mirrors the confidence you've earned. I've lived through these mistakes myself, and I've also experienced the joy of letting them go. And now that we've explored the most common pitfalls, it's time to bring everything together. Let's reflect on why the right haircut at this stage of life is not simply about style. It's about empowerment, identity, and celebrating the beauty of the present moment. We've explored 5 timeless haircuts that have the power to take years off your appearance while still feeling authentic to who you are. The soft layered bob, the textured pixie, the shoulder-length cut with face-framing layers, the modern blunt bob, and the soft shag with curtain bangs. Each one offers something unique, whether it's structure, freedom, softness, or personality, giving you the chance to choose the style that reflects your own spirit. We've also talked about 6 common mistakes to avoid, from holding onto the same haircut for decades to over-volumizing or choosing a color that doesn't complement your cut. These traps can quietly add years instead of taking them off. By recognizing them, you protect your beauty from being overshadowed by habits that no longer serve you. The message I want to leave you with is simple but powerful. Being over 60 doesn't mean hiding your age. It means embracing it, shaping it, and celebrating it. Your hair can be more than just a style. It can be a symbol of reinvention and confidence. It can remind you every day that you are not fading, you are evolving. So let me ask you, are you ready to try something new? Which of these 5 haircuts speaks to you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear which style you're excited to explore. And if this video inspired you, don't forget to hit subscribe so we can continue this journey together, discovering ways to feel beautiful, elegant, and empowered at every stage of life. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It's always a joy to share these conversations with you. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, your beauty is timeless.